affirmation jewelry, apparel, and accessories for resilient humans on the growth. That includes people who have gone through adverse life experiences and trauma. Her merchandise empowers you to thrive on your best days and those in between. She believes in the power of transformation and is building a global community of humans on their healing and wellness journeys called the Soul Tribe Family. Soul speaks at events, panels, high schools on topics such as entrepreneurship, mental health, and overcoming adversity. She has received certificates in the areas of business, e-commerce, and retail from names such as NASDAQ, FedEx, Cornell University, and more. So she's not just a pretty face, y'all. Soliel's dream is to meet Oprah Winfrey and Exana Van Sant. Yeah, because that name kills me. To share with them how their work has impacted her since she was a young girl. She also dreams of standing at the national TEDx stage for TED Talks, sharing how she overcame the school-to-prison pipeline system by transforming her mind and lifestyle. Little story, one of my clients is the RVA Black Farmers Market, and I went there as I do the support stuff, and she had a booth there, looked just like that, and it was hot, but she was beaming. She was like out in front talking to people, and she really captivated me. So I remembered that, and I saw her a couple of times. And so when we had these type of things, I said, let's do something different. We had Rita Ricks first talk to us and all of that. I said, let's do something a little bit different with someone that actually has merchandise, that actually has stuff that you can wear or buy for someone to empower them. And so without further ado, I present to you Soliel Lindsey.
Oh, thank you. So, good morning, everyone. As Mr. Brian stated, I don't know if I should call you Mr. Brian, Mr. Rob. Okay, Brian. That's a Southern girl thing.
Yeah, it is.
My name is Soliel Lindsey, and I just want to thank you all for allowing me to speak today. Thank you for giving me some time, and again, thank you, Mr. I keep saying Mr. Thank you, Brian, for having me. So I'm originally from Augusta, Georgia, so that whole Southern charm, Southern belle thing, that's my thing. And I'm in my 30s. I have a child, and of course I'm a new business owner. So I started my business almost 2 years ago. It'll be July will make 2 years, and my business is called Soul Rise Essentials. And I'll tell you a little bit more about like why I chose that name, how it relates to my name. I was talking to Albert in the back, and he has a stepdaughter. Her name is Soleil as well. And our name actually means sunshine. So either in French or in Creole, some African languages have different variations of it. But I'd say that to kind of connect what my name means and my business means back to my story. So I kind of want to share some stories with you all, but also tell you a little bit about what I offer. So of course you see the products over here. I offer affirmation and mental wellness apparel, jewelry, and accessories for the entire family. So initially it was just for adults. But because I have a child and I like to dress up, I have a background in fashion, I wanted my son to dress up with me. So I take these items and I design them. I have somebody else make it, whether it be somebody from in a different country or someone locally. It just depends on what the product is. And I put positive things on it because my stories, I'll share a little bit later, it's not peaches and cream and sunshine and all of that stuff. I'm an inner city native, and when I did move to Richmond, I'm from Northside Richmond, and I'm a product of Richmond Public Schools. Depending on who you ask, that can mean different things. I'm a graduate of John Marshall High School in Northside Richmond. You went to John Marshall?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. I love to hear that. Some good things have come out of that school. Like I said, it just depends on who you ask. But my journey was different. So I try to do positive things as a way to give back, not only to myself, but to my community, because I was wreaking havoc, okay? So in addition to the products, we are online based right now, but I also do public speaking, That was something that I said a full body yes to this year. I was in the NASDAQ program, the Women's Entrepreneurship Program that they have, and the goal of that program is for you to set a milestone. So the milestone that I chose was to say yes to public speaking. So I was telling the table in the back that I was sitting with that I've always been a natural networker, and I talk a lot, but I've never honed in on those skills to become, professional and figure out the science of speaking. So that's something I started to do this year, and I want to say this is like my 4th or 5th speaking engagement of the year. I was telling Miss Darlene in the back that I also spoke for the first time at a commencement last week for a high school. So I'm nervous, my heart is beating, but these are the things that we have to do to accomplish our goals. I say I want to be a business owner and entrepreneur, so I'm gonna have to do some things that make me scared. I'm super courageous, so this is what I came here to do today. So y'all bear with me as I tell my stories, and I'll just share with you more about my business. But like I said, we have the affirmation and mental wellness apparel, and it's colorful with purpose. I did that intentionally. Some of my stuff is more muted down because I do make unisex stuff, but like I have a Father's Day t-shirt over here. Y'all wanted the muted colors, the whites and the blacks and the grays, so I definitely try to cater to what my customers are asking for. But Pack Light, you'll see that that's something that is prominent in my designs. Have y'all ever heard that song by Erykah Badu, the Bag Lady song? Y'all know that? Okay, because I be meeting people that don't know that song, like, come on, y'all. Let me have the card back. That's probably what it is. It's been some older people too. I'm like, let me have your card back. We should know that song. But as an adult, like when I listen to that song with new ears, it means something completely different. So Pack Light for me, it's not just about carrying physical baggage, it's about the mental baggage. So I'm tying that into the mental wellness aspect. But Pack Light emotionally, physically, spiritually, mentally. Share your burdens and your loads with other people. Go to therapy if that's what you need to do. Whatever it is for you to unload whatever baggage that you're carrying in life, because we all got something. And some loads, quote unquote, are bigger and heavier than others, but we all have a story to tell, we all have a cross to bear. And so I decided to take the things that I went through as a teenager and flip it. And now my mama is real proud of me, because as a teenager at 17, that was like a milestone age for me where I was just wreaking havoc. But the more research that I did, I found out that mentally I was experiencing some things because of the things that I went through. There were some things that, even though I have a twin sister who Mr. Roberts knows, which is crazy, we lived in the same house, but the things that we experienced together affected me differently than they did her. So I do a lot of research on psychology, child psychology, especially because I have a son that I'm trying to raise, and teach him different things that I wish I had. I'm not a man, but I'm still his mama, and I have some tools that I can give to him to help him be a man for somebody else and for society too. So do a lot of that research, and that kind of started like my journey of figuring out what was going on in my head, why I was experiencing these different things. So of course I have products, but if they really are just something to help you feel light, I love the bright colors because if you know a little bit about color therapy, it picks your mood up. So I like to wear bright colors because if I'm feeling down a little bit, if it's gloomy outside, this makes me feel good, and like Mr. Brian said, when he saw me, I was beaming. I don't know what he means by that exactly, but maybe it was the colors, maybe it's the work that I'm doing on myself, I'm not sure. But I do know that like when I'm intentional about the things that I wear, about the phrases that I put on my merch, it's impactful to not only me, but to other people. So I always say that affirmation is important, but self-affirmation is important. What we tell ourselves is important, what we think is important, because it affects everything that we do in life. Our thoughts are affecting every single thing that we do, which in turn is affecting the reality that we live in, right? So again, it's products, but I've done the work to figure out, why I'm doing what I do. And also, maybe I have some meaning. So I have like the t-shirts, I have the accessories, stickers, pins, I have the jewelry, and I literally have people that buy this stuff that say I never take my necklace off. I'm wearing one that says love today, but sometimes I stack them, I mix them up. I hear that over and over. So if you Google Soul Rise Essentials and you look at the reviews, or if you go to Facebook, if you go to my website, like you could say it's just clothes and jewelry, but it's literally changing the way people feel about themselves. Excuse me, and it's helping me build that excuse me, I'm sorry, y'all. It's helping me build a community of like-minded people, not people that have it all together, not people that know everything, but it's like, okay, maybe I've done some things in my past, or I've been through some things in my past, but now I want to clean that up. So that's how we're packing light. You know, we're sharing our stories. In addition to the public speaking and the products, I also have a podcast that I do called Soul Seek Conversations. And I actually have an episode coming up this Thursday. So if you guys are on Instagram, definitely join me live. But if you're not on Instagram, I take all the episodes and I put them on YouTube as well. When I tell y'all they have been moving and impactful, it's a mental wellness podcast. So everybody that comes on, they have a story related to mental wellness or mental health, right? I've had people come on from other states because the goal is to be global. Mr. Global Marketing over here. So you can help us out with that. But right now I've had people come, you know, from Virginia, different states. One girl came on and she's schizophrenic. And I've never had a conversation that I know of, because we never know what people are dealing with on a day-to-day basis. I never have had a conversation with somebody and been able to ask questions. So what I'm doing with that is humanizing people, humanizing the things that we are afraid of, the things that we think we know about, and I'm giving voices to these people. I call them thrivers, brave people using their voices, because what I've learned in my research is that when you talk about the things that you're going through, when you pack those things, when you pack light, you let it, you know, go by the wayside because you're getting it out of your body, your system, it's healing. Community is healing. We go through things, but we don't have to go through it by ourselves. So that's what my mission and my aim is with the podcast, to create that global community. It's online. So if somebody in Africa wants to see it, Israel wants to see it, they can see it, you know. Most people have a YouTube channel, YouTube access, so that is another aspect of my business. I've had people come on and talk about, you know, their alcoholism battles, drugs, weight loss, all kind of things. But the most impactful to this day was the woman with schizophrenia, because I'm just like, in my head, I thought folks that were on the corner, homeless, you know, talking to themselves, that's what people with that disease looks like. And it's like, no, she's a pastor, I think not a pastor, but she's active in her church community. She's a musician, she's in school, she works with children, everyday people. So those are the stories that I want to bring life and voices to. So again, you know, I have the products, but I truly feel like it is a global mission that I'm on to change the way people view their mental wellness. Because if you have a brain, you're alive, I hope, but if you have mental health to manage. So it doesn't mean that you've gone through something or you have a mental health diagnosis. It's not that. It's simply, how do you feel in the morning? You know, what things have happened to you that you're not talking about, that you feel like you need some support with. There are people sitting here, you know, listening to me talk right now that I'm sure I may have something in common with, but we just don't know because we don't talk about our stories. We don't feel like they're important. So beyond your home life, beyond your relationships, beyond your business, you know, you have mental wellness and mental health to manage. And when we start opening up those conversations and having those conversations, we realize we are more alike than we are different. So I just wanted to share that. I know it was a lot, but going back to my personal story, when I was 17, I got into a fight at school, and I literally was at school for one day, and I don't think I made it to the last period that day, but I was reinstated back into my high school from a alternative school. So I had already been kicked out of my home school, reinstated back in my home school, got into a fight that same day and got kicked out again.
Wow. It was not a good day.
It was not a good day. It started off really well. That's the crazy thing. You know, but I wasn't emotionally intelligent back then. You know, we expect so much from teenagers, but the research that I've done and I'm still doing is that they are going through things, their brain is still like developing, and they're not even conscious about the things that they do and they say. They think they're grown, but they're not. You know, so there were some decisions I made irrationally and just not even thinking. The food I was eating, terrible, whether it was from home or at school. So there's so many layers to our mental health and the reasons why we make the decisions that we make that we're not even conscious of. So started off as a good day, did not end off good. My sister that you know, she was so happy that I was back in school. My sister back in school, and she was so disappointed because of the fight that I got in. But I was not the one, I didn't start it. I was that girl that's like, I'm gonna finish it, you know, don't mess with me, I'm gonna finish it. But you know, I'm the girl that y'all see now, the woman that you see now, it's no different. It's just I've learned a little bit more about why I was making the decisions that I was making. And back then, I didn't have anything to lose. Now I got a lot to lose, you know? So the girl was picking on me, and who is this new girl, who she thinks she is, why she thinks she Rihanna with this haircut and all this crazy stuff. And she blocked me as I was going down to the bleachers to tell my teacher that I was at school. He was calling roll. And so I almost failed because she blocked me. So we got into an altercation. Now, John Marshall is one of those schools where you have police on campus, not just security guards. We going through metal detectors and we have police presence on campus. That's how I got caught up. They broke up the fight. I thought it was security guards breaking up the fight. It was a police officer.
Wow.
And so there were 3 people trying to get my little skinny tail off of this woman, this girl, and I was kicking back and I kicked the cop.
Lord.
So I went to jail, but it was the juvenile detention center because I was still 17, thank God. That changed me and that woke me up because I said, oh no, this is not for people like me. Because when I got in there, I'm like, I can't go where I want, I can't do what I want. These people in here, this girl talking about she stabbed her mom, like what? I would never do that. Like I'm in here with people that are really, really tough. I'm not a tough girl. This is not for me. And then like the bed that we laid on, it was hard and really no cushion. It was just awful. It was awful. I was only there for 3 days, but that was enough. But my mom said, I'm gonna let her sit in there so she can learn her lesson. But the crazy thing is my mom had actually, I don't know, my mom know a lot of people too. She knew somebody in the jail system that allowed me to go in there. They walked me around and showed me like, this is where you're gonna be if you keep acting crazy. And I still ended up in there.
Wow.
So that was my journey. That's just a portion of it, but that was the turning point for me. And I know y'all heard Brian say that I was also a model. So modeling in jail changed my life.
Wow.
I found an outlet. I figured out, okay, I am good at something. I like to take pictures. I like to not just look cute, but I was like doing artistic stuff. So it was a way for me to express myself and, just do something I felt that was different than what everybody else was doing. So I don't know, raise your hand if you know Renee Lacey.
Yeah.
You know her? So Renee Lacey is how I got my start with modeling, cameo modeling, long time ago, like 17 years ago. That was a while ago. But she changed my life, honestly, and I got a chance to see her at George Witt. They had a career day. She was there, and we had this full circle moment. She was just like, I'm so proud of you. So just wanted to give you a personal, tidbit on what I was going through. And after that, actually, I had some mental health crisis that I went through. I was having these bad panic attacks, and my brain was doing all of this stuff, and I'm just like, what is going on? So that led me to start doing my research, because I wanted to understand what was happening to me. I kept saying, like, God, am I broken? Like, something wrong with me? Am I ever gonna be normal again? And I found out through talking to God and through doing my research that ain't nothing wrong with you, but you've been through some things, and your body is physiologically reacting to that stuff. It's gonna catch back up with you, which is why, again, I do what I do with my business, and I'm helping people share their stories and connect to other people so that they know they're not alone. So that's what I do. And my mission overall is just to see people mentally well. That's it, Doesn't mean you have to go through something like I did, but maybe it was something else that you went through. It could be minor or a little bit more major than what I went through. But there are things that we experience, and I can tell y'all one thing that we all have in common: COVID-19. We all went through that collective trauma. So those things, whether we realize it or not, it's changed the way we think, it's changed the way we do things, the way we do business, and that is, in a sense, a trauma. It's not like what happens to you, it's what happens inside of you as a result of said incident. So that's something that we have in common. And again, I just want people to have voices to, what they've been through and not be afraid to talk about those things. So a couple of things I want to tell y'all, if it still doesn't click with the whole mental wellness thing, has anybody ever heard of ACEs before?
Yeah, but I've heard of it.
You've heard of it?
Yeah.
So ACEs is a concept that was developed some years back, actually in the 90s, but they're doing more research now. But 1 in 6 adults have experienced more than 4 adverse child experiences. That's what an ACE means, adverse child experience. Excuse me. More than 1 in 5 adults live with poor mental health. Now more than ever, people are lonely. About 60% of people report that they are lonely. This is from 2023.
Wow.
And now more than ever, I feel people are seeking connection and community. So these are real stats. When we have our businesses, we have to figure out who's our target audience. Why do we do what we do? Thank you. Appreciate that. Why do we do what we do? So when I first started my business, I'm like, how is this different than what everybody else is doing? And so I realized, let me connect my personal story to what I'm doing. Let me make what I'm putting on the necklaces and the t-shirts and the hats something that can inspire people, make people feel good about themselves, and vice versa. Also, I want to tell you why I named my business what I named it. So Soliel means sun, and as he said, I was beaming. I love all these bright colors, you know, so people can see you, feel good about yourself. But also to help people, Soul Rise is your personal sun rising again. So sunrise. It's also your soul inside rising again. So when you hit rock bottom, when you go through some things, the only way you can go is what? Up, right? So that's what my business does. It helps people on their wellness and healing journeys rise up again, but you don't have to do it by yourself. You can do it with the Soul Tribe. So that's how I tied it all in. I was trying to figure out what I wanted to name my business, and I prayed about it, and I put a little note under my pillow, because somebody told me to do that. If you stuck on something, put a note on your pillow. It sounded woo-woo to me, but it worked. Soul Rise dropped in my spirit a couple days after that, and then I have gone through the trademark process, and at the time I hadn't, so I didn't realize that name was already taken. So I put Soul Rise Essentials, and now we're trademarked and all of that stuff. But it ties into my name, it ties into my presence, I feel, and what I'm trying to help people accomplish in their lives. And I'm gonna wrap it up soon, because I know I've been babbling a little bit, but I just wanted you to know why I started the business. Who is our target audience? So 2.14 billion people shop online. All of y'all shop on Amazon, Target, Walmart.
Never heard of it.
I know you have. But honestly, the target ages, and anybody can buy my stuff, right? But we have to niche down and figure out who our, perfect customer is. Ideal, I won't say perfect. But I try to target directly to people ages 25 and 34. But again, anybody can buy the stuff. But it's also for trauma-informed individuals and parents, because I sell the children's apparel. Mental health professionals, so people that work in mental health offices, therapists, things like that. Because when they're sitting in front of their clients, if you got on a shirt that says "Pack Light," that's a conversation started between you and your client. And it's also you kind of living out what you're telling them as well. So teachers, educators, caregivers. I have a lot of teachers that buy stuff from me, different schools. So when you're thinking about corporate gifting, what you want to give to people that work for you, think about Soul Rise. We've shipped off to places like, who was it? SoundCloud. I don't know if y'all have ever heard of them.
Yep.
There's another business too, it's escaping me, but they'll do a bulk order and give out the gifts to their employees just as a thank you for Christmas, anything. So that is also something that we do. And how you can support us. If you've taken a video today, if you've taken a picture, whether it's of me, of the merch, tag it, post it, share it with somebody. You can actually purchase today, later, after the end of this. But we need funding, and I'm also looking for investors, people that believe in what I'm doing, want to see me continue to shine and grow. And we need staffing and manpower, so we need money to pay them, okay? So we're looking for interns, we're looking for more money just to be able to staff, because I do see what I'm doing going far, because I believe it, and I also feel like it's something that people need. So I'm gonna need people to help me continue to do that. We need more eyes on our merch. So I just talked about you guys sharing it, going to our website. We're on all social media, TikTok, all that. And we need your stories and support. So even if you don't have a personal story to share on my podcast, if you know somebody else that's struggling and they need to find their voice again, you're like, go check out Soul Seed Conversations. And even if they're not ready to share, just put it in their atmosphere a little bit so they can see the stories and be inspired by it and maybe get the courage one day to share their own story. So I do have business cards over here. I do have merch. I do have discount codes on the cards that I'm going to give to you all. And you can also sign up on my email list to learn more about what I'm doing. And I know I talked a lot, but I'm done. And if y'all have any questions, feel free to ask.
Did you win the fight?
I sure did. Listen. Yes, you already know.
I got some fights. I won some. I lost some.
You know you win something. You lose something. That one I won.
She said it took 3 people to get it
Right,
off.
3 police
I don't
officers
mean
at
that. She could have been
that.
left one losing. And pull you off. You got a big and bad.
Yeah.
I seen that too.
Yeah.
Wow.
So on your podcast, do you have special guests, or is it like, with it being online, are people chiming in as well?
Yeah, so right now the way I have it set up, because I call it a podcast now, but when I first started, it was just a video series thing that I was doing on Instagram to grow my Instagram, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it is live, and people can watch live, and they are interacting. Like, people really get a lot from it. They're asking questions, they're congratulating the people for getting through what they went through. So right now, and I may change it soon, but right now it is live on IG, and then I take it and put it on YouTube so anybody can see it.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
how does that, and then maybe this may be a question, if it's too much or too long, we can always schedule time, tell me more later.
Yep.
How does that podcast thing work as far as profitability, or, because people want to get their likes up and all that? That part I don't understand.
That's a really, really good question. So again, I'm using the word podcast loosely because there's some people that their full-time job is their podcast, and I think they make money with like sponsorships, businesses, and they do little commercials, and the people pay for the commercial time, things like that. For me, the way it's profitable is if you come as a guest on my podcast, your name is Lawrence. I'll make you a personal code on my website, Lawrence 10 or Lawrence 20,
Right.
and the 10 and the 20 is just how much the percentage that the person gets off. So you share the podcast flyer that I give to you with your network, your email list, and then you say, hey, I'm gonna be on this podcast. Okay, people think it's just a podcast, but when they come to the website or our Instagram, they see, oh, she sells clothes and stuff like that, and it's cute. My son needed a new T-shirt. Father's Day is coming up. I'm buying a Father's Day shirt, and you're giving them a code to shop for 10 or 20% off. So it's profitable in that aspect as of right now. Yeah.
I was following someone else. They had like you just said, that code thing, but it's on YouTube.
Yeah.
And it looked like it was a code thing or something like that. That's why I was curious.
Yeah,
how does that
yeah,
work?
yeah. So I don't know how other people are doing it. I was just a guest with like the airtime that people can buy, but for me, and that is a really good question. So I don't do it every single week or every single day. I do it once a month because I was telling somebody back there I have a 4-year-old. I'm very busy with that, and I don't want to overcommit. And I need to be in the business with my feet on the ground, trying to do things that actually make profit.
Right.
So once a month, probably every third Thursday is what I try to do. And it'll be either 12 p.m. or 6 p.m., but it's not taking a lot of my time. And we do get some sales from it when people sharing their code and the flyer and stuff like that. Yep. But if y'all don't have any more questions, I will give y'all my card so we can stay in contact. And thank you for listening to my story. You can shop at soulriseessentials.com or right here in person.
And we can get things today.
Yeah, I have a ton of stuff over here for purchase today.
All right.
Thank you.
No, thank you.